Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be having a look through another 100 or thereabouts great pan vintage paperbacks. Now we have been slowly working our way through the collection, and this is the next to last look at these great pans, and I absolutely love them. There's some brilliant titles in here, some beautiful jackets, and I think you're going to absolutely love it. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay, so we kick off with Great Pan G501. There we are, and they've got the grey because they're G in the bottom there. Often they've got this 2 stars for being grey, and then the Pan Giants, which is what we're going to be looking at in a couple of months' time, they've got 3 stars, and it's all down to price. So the Great Pans are 2 and 6. And that was their price designation. So this particular one here, 1961, a long hard look, Malcolm Gear. Then we've got 502, a sequel to Boldness, Richard Pape. The fantastic follow-on story of one of the greatest true war books ever written, Boldness Be My Friend, which sold over 1 million copies. So this is yet another escape book, of which Pan had published a few. Let's be honest, they were certainly big in the world of Second World War escape stories, not least of which with Colditz. Peter Ustinov, I'm sure you've heard of that name. Here he is writing Add a Dash of Pity, which was quite a bestseller, this one. And this one is one of those particular Pan books that you see if you're out and about looking for old books. You just come across that one all the time. It's weird, you know. 504, We Joined the Navy. Now, I certainly haven't got every single Great Pan, but I am missing out of the whole run of 720, I think about 70 or 80 titles possibly. So not too bad, certainly attainable. Great book, this one. I remember reading it as a teenager. The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. I seem to remember having to read it at school. The follow-up book that he did after Saturday Night and Sunday Morning. Nice copy of this one as well. Also remember the film being pretty good, as I recall. 507, The Lifesavers, Richie Calder. Now, this is interesting. So, the Library of Cyanamid of Great Britain. Now, Cyanamid they provided medicines to hospitals, but also to vets as well. And they had the Cyanamid editions. They actually had a whole run of those published by Observer Books, and they're quite sought after. And they're done, and they were given out to like farmers and people like that. So it's quite interesting that one's got that Cyanamid stamp inside. This is nice, J.J. Marrick, Gideon's Staff. This one's in a bag because I'm not sure if you can see it. Right down in the bottom there is a little silver Pef signature from. This is one of the ones I took up to get signed by him at one of the paperback shows. Quite a nice copy as well, so that's really nice, that one. Gideon's Staff. David Attenborough, Zoo Quest for a Dragon. TV's famous zoologist recalls an enchanted journey through the islands of Indonesia. So obviously, David Attenborough, he was big even back in the 50s. And this was 1961, this particular book. But Pan published a few of his novels. How to Survive Matrimony, Harold Froy, one of those oddball Pan titles. How to Remain a Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. They're just nuts. These are such sort of period pieces now. They're crazy, aren't they? They're really funny. 513 is The Joneses and How to Keep Up with Them by Lee Gibb. We Are the Living, Erskine Caldwell. As always, by the author of God's Little Acre. Poor guy could never get away from that. Really detailed cover, that one. I mean, really is. It's by H. Jules. I mean, look on the front and on the back. I know it's not painted, it's more like sort of a pencil affair, but wowee, that's some work gone into that one. Next, Edgar Wallace, The Calendar, 515. Now, some of these will be reissues. This one isn't, but sometimes it was a book that had been published by Pan earlier on. Then they reprinted it at a higher price, and it got a new series number. So sometimes, and usually a new jacket. So some of these books I have already got in a different edition. A Prince for Inspector West. So something like Casino Royale, you could theoretically have 4 copies, I think, prior to 1970, just in Pan alone. Quite easily. 517, The Origin of Evil, another Ellery Queen. A Pan Special, 518, Soviet Spy Ring. As fantastic and exciting as any James Bond thriller, the full and sensational story of how the British Secret Service brought to justice the communist agents Lonsdale, Houghton, Ethel G. and the Kroggers. Wow, well, I'm sure it was exciting in its day. 520, Escape from Zahrain, Michael Barrett, another non-fiction. Oh, now filmed by Paramount, starring Yul Brynner, so maybe it's not a Yul Brynner movie. There he is, covering up his baldness. The Saint Errant, 522. I have been suggested and asked if I could do a Pan Saint special where we look at all the Leslie Charteris books that came out as vintage Pan. So that is on the agenda, so look out for that one. That's definitely going to be a little author focus. Maybe when I've done, because after I've got up to number 600, I'm then going to do 601 to the end, which is about 730 on the Pan, the Great Pans. So maybe I'll do the Saint books then, and then we'll start on the Pan Giants possibly. 524, Death Against the Clock, Anthony Gilbert. But it would be quite nice to put all the Saint books together. I think that would look pretty cool. 525, When to Call the Doctor. When indeed. I'm just looking for the bit on coronaviruses here. Agatha Christie, Partners in Crime, 526. Now, I'm not sure if this is a reprint edition. No, this is the first time that Partners in Crime was published as a Pan. Not one of the greatest covers, but it is what it is, isn't it? I do still really like Agatha Christie, and she's having a real revival just lately. My Friend Muriel, 527. A Riotous Romp, Moving, Funny, Fresh and Alive. If you say so. My namesake, Commander Burt of Scotland Yard, 529. There he is. I'd never be seen dead in one of them hats. Just saying. Hope you liked my MASH t-shirt in the introduction. A new acquisition. Now this is definitely a reissue. Escape or Die, Paul Brickle, G532. And this one had obviously come out earlier, so this is just with a new jacket. So yeah, 1965, this particular one. I don't know if this was the first time that it was the new jacket. Who can tell on that book? Because it was reprinted virtually every year by the look of it from when it came out. But that's the earliest copy I've got with that jacket on. Another Erskine Caldwell, once again, by the author of God's Little Acre. Poor guy. A slightly different sort of a cover, this one. It obviously is by a different artist. Very, very popular chap. And once again, I have been asked to do an Erskine Caldwell. I think I have got them all. I just don't know much about him, so maybe I could do a bit of research and maybe we could do a dedicated video, pull them all together. John Creasy here, Puzzle for Inspector West. That almost looks like a photograph, doesn't it? Rather than a I mean, it is a photo. Got to be a photo. Yeah, rather than a painted cover. Maybe that was just pulled together very quickly. They didn't have time to get an artist commissioned in that. Jack Kerouac, well, you know, I mean, they're scarce, these, and this is one of his early ones, the Dharma Bums. One of the original beatniks. There he is on the back. Most famous for On the Road. But that was one of his, that was still one of his classic books. 539, The Pan Book of Etiquette and Good Manners. One of those Pan originals. These are so funny, I think. I think this is possibly a reissue. No, that was the first time that was published in that form, 539. I think what we're going to do, I'm just going to pause and pull the camera out a touch. 540, Quadrantus Rex, a lusty, inspiring novel of Imperial Rome's golden days, combining high adventure and ancient legend. Well, there you go. It does make you want to read it, let's be honest. Wow. That was 540. 541 is Man in Motion, Charles Williams. Once again, this one is in a bag because it's been signed by Pef in silver along the front there. A much better signature, that one, than the earlier Gideon staff. And once again, a really nice copy of that. So I'm quite pleased that I had a good one to hand 20 years ago or whenever it was when I met. I think it was about 20 years ago, to be honest. Quite a long time. When the Kissing Had to Stop, Constance Fitzgibbon. 543. The most frightening novel of this generation relegates Orwell's 1984 and Huxley's Brave New World to the nursery. Well, I think that is debatable, don't you? Adultery Under Arms, 544. Constantine Fitzgibbons. The Boudoirs of the Battlefield. This is quite a worn copy of that one, so that's on the old upgrade list. 545, a one-star general, Al Morgan. A riveting, caustic novel of American professional soldiers and their wives. A nice Hellwig jacket on that one. Come Again, Nurse, Jane Grant, 546. .547, No Name in the Street, Gillian Tyndall. A Game for the Living, Patricia Highsmith. Found her books to be quite tricky to find in nice condition, in pans. But she's a good author. I guess they just got read a lot, possibly, you know. Patrick Quinton, Shadow of Guilt, 549. Another great one next. For Your Eyes Only, 551. The first Ian Fleming edition of this one. There's 5 short stories, isn't it? Yeah, there we are. There's the 5 short stories that are included in For Your Eyes Only. That's the first jacket by J. Oval. 551. Another classic, Neville Shute, Lonely Road. 554, nice copy of that one. I seem to remember the Neville Shutes were also really easy to find back in the day. You know, you could just, they had, once again, I think they had such massive print runs. But trying to find them in first editions is a trickier proposition, you know. 555, The Case of the Fugitive Nurse, Earl Stanley Gardner. Perry Mason at his gimlet best, a suspense-packed tale of duplicity and murder. Good stuff. Looks like a bit of Z cars going on down there or something, doesn't it? 557, Elliot West, Man Running. Lots and lots of excitement, The Star. Let me just straighten that little pile up so we've got a bit more room. We're over halfway now. Just going to slip those over there like that. So we've got room for another pile. So 558 is The Devil Never Sleeps, Pearl S. Buck, first British edition of the dramatic new novel which inspired the 20th century film. So there was a film. William Holden was in it. 560, The Frost and the Fire, Ruth Park. I have to say I've had a real renewed vigour with my pan collecting since I've been filming these videos, and obviously finding that big collection, filling so many in one hit, it really has made it fun to collect these. Command the Morning, Pearl S. Buck again. What I haven't had time to do really is go through and start to try hunting down some of the ones that I'm missing. 562, Traitor Betrayed, another pan original. But I'm sure they're all out there, bar that one that my friend Tim needs. Now, Tim runs the Pan Collectors website at ticket.net. Always put the link in the description down below, so do check that out. And Tim needs just one book to complete all the vintage pans, which is the, I think it's the 4th Junior Crossword Puzzle book, X205. Once again, I'll put a little link to that on the screen now. G564 is Certain Women, Erskine Caldwell. Yes, what must it be like, having completed a few series recently, to be one book short from having like a set of the 2,000 odd books? Must be terrible. How can you sleep at night, Tim? 566, Arthritis and Folk Medicine. Yes, it would be fantastic. He has seen a copy, I believe. You know, he's been to Pan's archive and borrowed a copy. It exists. It had a print run. I think it was 25, 30,000, something like that. But where are they all? That's the question. It's crazy. The 5th Pan Book of Crosswords. And there they are, like the first 4 there on the back. It's quite nice, isn't it? Look at this one, look, reprinted. Look, it's a 6 printing. They must have been so popular, mustn't they, those crossword books? So I haven't got the first edition of that one. But I don't mind too much being a crossword book. Fire at Sea, Thomas Gallagher. A true horror story combined with the elements of an engrossing whodunit. .570 is a Georgette Heyer, The Corinthian. It's one of her early Regency titles. It's a historical romance stroke adventure. Oh, another Agatha Christie. Quite a worn copy of this. I have had a nice one, but it was a reprint. So to keep them in first, so I've got this slightly lower grade one for 571 of the 7 Dials Mystery. 572 is An Innocent Abroad by the author of Tamiko. J. Oval again, doing the covers. 573, Act of Mercy, Francis Clifford. There's a David Niven there, and that I'm guessing is Leslie Caron. Don't remember that movie. I don't mind David Niven. He's okay as an actor. 574, Boney and the Black Virgin, Arthur Upfield. Murder in an Untamed Land. Not a great jacket, is it? And we've hardly seen any from PEF this 100. There's been a few, and the few that I had signed, but generally speaking, not that many. Maybe it's because of the time. So when are we looking at publisher-wise here? 1962. Well, he was still active then, wasn't he? So, not sure. Jigsaw, Hillary War. Now a Val Guest film. Jack Warner and Ronald Lewis in a scene from the movie. The Crowded Sky, Hank Searles, The Men Who Fly, The Women They Love, and the Tangled Emotions That Can Create Disaster. Top marks for excitement. Let's pull pull this last pile over here. So that was 576 is 577. What sort of girls were they? Don't know. Petria Leslie. I see. So this is a warts and all. Illustrated, no doubt. Look at that. How weird is that? Is it looking at like showgirls or something? An intimate, behind-the-scenes close-up of the teenage girls who set out to strip, sway, and sing their way from chorus to stardom. What sort of girls were they? 578, The General. A bit of a famous one, this one. Alan Silito. Again. Charles Chilton, The World in Peril. 579. $580, so it's another Saint one from Leslie Charteris. The Saint on the Spanish Main. Thrill-packed cruise for a modern buccaneer. The Saint takes a holiday. I don't blame him. The Case of the Runaway Corpse, Perry Mason. Look at that. Look, that's a big thumbprint there. A must for your bookshelf. Well, you heard it here first. 584, The Offenders, R.H. Ward. Old enough to know better, young enough not to care. 586, The Picturegoers, David Lodge. 587, no, sorry, 588, The Dark Road, James Cross. Nice jacket, that one, actually. Probably quite nice if it was just slightly minter. That would be really outstanding. Yeah, I'm not surprised they reused it again on the back. Can't see the artist though, but good job on that one. 588. 589, The Hellbent Kid. I think this is a Western, this one. Charles O'Loak. Nice copy again of that one, nice and tight. 589. Here's one by John Burke. The prolific John Burke, doing another movie tie-in of The Boys. 595, The Sleeping Sphinx, John Dickson Carr. Restless Coffins, A Macabre Party and Murder, a Dr. Fell mystery. The Mirror Room, Christopher Landon, 596. And there's a slight change to the spine here. If you look at those two there, if I just zoom in on that, so you can sort of see the slight change in art style. That's the first time that has happened. For 596, The Mirror Room. Yeah, author of Ice Cold in Alex. That's a classic, isn't it? 599, Red Eye for the Baron. John Creasy, doing a Baron book. Nice one, that as well. And the last one, number 600, is Bamboo Doctor. Stanley Palavard. Once again, Japanese, British prisoners under the Japanese during the Second World War. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed that look through this latest 100 Great Pan paperbacks. Certainly some great titles in there for us to enjoy. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it a thumbs up. Do please consider subscribing for regular vintage paperback content. Lots on the channel, lots of Pan books, and certainly lots more of those still to come. And I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.